Here we go. Who the hell are you, man? Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
We are the Knights!
Hold on to your butt.
And now for something completely different.
Hello out there and welcome to the Knights of Nerdatude podcast. We're a podcast for all things nerd. My name is Chris. I'm here with...
Got my pale wig on? It's Sam.
I dyed my hair blonder than blonde. It's John.
And I reek of dragons. It's Sean.
All right, folks. We got a big one this week. It's going to be... We had two shows that come out that were extremely highly anticipated, and one was relatively highly anticipated. We're going to do She-Hulk and...
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. Sorry.
Game of
I was gonna say,
the three things that we
Game of
reference.
Thrones presents House of the Dragon. So, but we're gonna review those. So first two episodes, She-Hulk, give an instant take on that one, and instant take on House of the Dragon as well. We're coming into TV season, folks, so we're gonna go hard on this. And let's start off like we always do. Let's get some news.
Yeah.
Do you want to? You should go first.
No,
I
forgot mine.
Okay.
My
All right,
bad,
then this
everybody.
one's gonna be quick, and it's not even necessarily news, but I just have to brag about it because you know, just respect.
Oh.
Did you guys see the box office numbers for last weekend?
Not for last weekend. No.
This past weekend, so 4 days ago.
No, I did not.
Guess what's number one?
Is it Top Gun?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
Nope.
What?
Isn't it the horror movie?
Nope.
Oh, no, it was something that was really day and date, wasn't it? Or something?
Day and date.
Well, what's the number one movie?
Dragon Ball Z Super.
Oh,
Superhero.
okay. Yeah.
Guys, it finally happened. Dragon Ball Z has the number one box office.
But it's not the live action.
Doesn't matter. Number one impressive because the
When are we
movie
getting that
actually went to
sequel?
theaters.
We're never getting that sequel, Sam.
It's
sorry.
number one in the sense of just no other movies are out.
Yeah.
No,
It's
there's
August.
Beast came out, and that's
Oh yeah, Beast
Oh,
with Idris
yeah.
Elba came out, and then horror movie Orphan Kills, which is a prequel, came out on Paramount, which I know no one here. Well, Chris might watch it, so I don't know. We'll see. We might review it.
I think that was the one that was on Paramount Plus and was like the
Yeah.
third highest this weekend to just tell you
Yeah.
where we're at until the movies drop.
Yeah.
September-ish, October, I don't know.
Yeah, we're
but
coming
we're in a gulf right now. We are in a Josh Brolin in Wyoming-sized void.
of movies.
There is a
They're
void!
struggling. There needs to be movies in theaters, and if Dragon Ball Z animated is on top,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's dubbed.
It's Dragon Ball
subbed.
Z Super, right?
It's Dragon Ball Super
Yeah.
Superhero,
Yeah.
which is epically stupid name.
Have
but,
you ever heard
know.
the theme song for that? Oh, it's great. It's so
yeah,
dumb.
I think so.
It's so dumb.
I don't know. There's multiple theme
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah. For superhero. Yeah.
I've been watching the Faulkner music ones, which is like the intense metal kind of electronic thing.
Yeah.
And I've been banging out like I just finished all of what I started in early Frieza Saga, and I just finished the Android Saga.
Okay.
So now we're getting to Cell. Telling you, man, Dragon Ball Z underrated.
I was never a fan, but I tuned in for Cell.
Dragon Ball Z's underrated.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm with Cell on that one.
okay, well,
it's
let's-
not underrated.
Over
That's
there,
certainly a hot take.
Let's just say
over there.
No. So you go online. You can go on Reddit, and there's so many people out there who are like, "Who would win, Goku or Superman?" And people legit argue this.
Didn't I buy that metal print?
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Oh no,
fine.
it wasn't Goku or Superman. It was
it was Superman and
and Thor versus
Yeah.
Goku and Vegeta.
yeah. But yeah,
I need to hang that up.
This is
is a work of
an
art.
actual argument that's been going on the internet for many millennia, I feel.
Yeah. We should keep it there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not going to get into it.
No, I'm not, because Chris would be the only one here who understands the power of both. So
Sure.
Valid.
Sure.
Very valid. Anyway, just had to brag about that one.
yeah, go ahead.
Also, something coming up on Shudder, because I know Shudder, we don't usually dabble there.
No, but I mean, technically,
Do you know
we
where
all have access.
Do you know
to
where
it.
I'm going with
I
this?
don't. No.
Next week, they're doing a 101
Dalmatians?
scariest scenes
Dead Mations.
in horror movies.
All right.
So,
Oh, okay.
So it's the
I like
frights, the fright parts of the scene.
I
in one
would
particular
not
scene.
mind tuning into that.
Yep. So that's next. I'm pretty sure it's next week. So, and I think it's weekly. So it'll be like
Yeah.
probably like with those NFL greatest things where it's like 10
Oh,
slots
yeah,
a night
yeah,
or something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And then-
Which is like great because that totally could be a YouTube thing, but no, it's on Shudder.
well, it's not. Hey, let him
Well, I mean,
let him
it's-
try and get some people to go
Yeah,
see it.
yeah.
You know,
not
honestly,
a YouTube
it's
thing.
the same. It's the
Shudder
same.
is incredibly cheap if you like horror movies for a streaming service. It's I think like $30 a year.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
like
a lot.
nothing, and they have like a ton.
and
of
there are
content.
some like, I mean, I wouldn't say get it if you don't like horror, but there are some stuff that's like not horror. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
some
yeah.
like lightly horror thriller
Right,
kind of stuff
right.
too.
Like Sam, I don't know how you're not on it because like Blackula, all of them are on all the time.
What was I gonna say? So this 101's one is I think from the producers who did Eli Roth's History of Horror.
Okay.
Did you guys watch that?
No, I
I
did not.
do
On
watch that, no.
I think it's AMC.
AMC.
That was actually very good.
Shudder is owned by AMC.
Yeah, so it's the
Is-
same. Kind of, it's in that vein.
I only know that because on the weird show of On Cinema with Greg Turkington and Tim Heidecker,
And Greg Posh,
Mark Prosh.
Mark Prosh. Oh, yeah.
Greg Turkington
Jeez.
in their recent Oscar special mentioned that he works for AMC, and I was like, no, he doesn't. And then it turns out on Shudder, what's his face from MythBusters?
Jamie.
No, the other one, Adam.
Adam Savage.
Adam Savage.
That was
So,
a 1
yeah.
in 2 chance.
So Adam Savage does a show on Shudder about haunted like movies.
Oh,
and they did
yes.
an episode about
about the
Wizard of Oz,
yeah,
and
he's in
Greg
it for 2
Turkington is
seconds.
an expert, quote unquote, expert on the Wizard of Oz. And it was like I pulled it up at work. I was like, "Oh my god, this exists!"
the Victorville film archives,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're really veering off here. But bearing the lead, are you, any other comments on the?
no,
Okay,
we're good.
all
We
right.
can go.
All right. Bearing the lead, let's get into probably, I would say, the TV premiere of the summer.
Yes,
Maybe
Oh, yeah.
co-summer,
Oh, yeah.
but definitely most anticipated.
huge numbers.
Yes.
Do we have numbers?
She
for this?
no. House of the Dragon, the much anticipated Game of Thrones prequel. I guess you could
Prequel.
call it.
Prequel.
It is a
143
prequel.
years.
It's not like it really
Incredibly-
like ties in with the other in the same sense.
incredibly
but-
clear and specific at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
They literally say like how much it's.
No,
I think it's
They gave you a
143
paragraph,
years.
but
yeah.
then they
Yeah, they-
deleted the paragraph and left the
yeah.
words.
Daenerys
just-
and
Make
sure
143 years
We are
before
not going to
Daenerys.
tell you
Just-
another story about a blonde chick who wants the throne.
So
just
let's
in
tell
case-
you a story about a blonde chick who wants the throne.
Right.
Let's vomit some exposition at you that probably could have been just established with a character. just
hey,
mentioning
listen, you're
it,
watching
but-
Game of Thrones. It's all vomited exposition. That's 8 seasons, buddy.
People kind of forget how like the first like 3-4 episodes of the original is just like exposition, and it's like you don't even really understand who anyone is.
By the way, it was nearly 10 million views
yes,
for the
On
it was
the
actually
app or
literally, by the
via-
way, it was 9.99 or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It
Is
was
this
like-
is this via HBO streaming or is this?
It was. I
on-
think it was like.
linear and on the app.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure they'll like plus whatever because I didn't watch it until a day or two after. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure.
think I watched it
Yeah.
Tuesday.
I watched this live.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
didn't.
did you watch it on the app or on HBO?
on TV HBO.
Okay, because I guess the app crashed, which I hadn't heard of
Yeah,
since
it did.
since the last time Game of Thrones was on there. So hats off
Yeah.
to them.
It's like it's a popular show if you crash the app.
I feel like it is. Like I know it's like bad look for the app, but it's a good look for the show.
Oh yeah. Like the last 2 episodes of Stranger Things crashed Netflix briefly.
Did it?
It did.
That's actually I'm sort of amazed because like Netflix is really good.
Yeah. No, that's how many people viewed into those last 2 episodes of the most recent season.
guess
That's
right away,
impressive.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
House of the Dragon.
Yes.
Lots of establishing.
Yeah.
Definitely setting up a whole new story here, though one that I would say still feels somewhat similar to the last one.
Very similar.
Yeah. So, all right, I guess I'll give the overview here.
Go ahead.
So essentially, what this show is setting up is the Targaryen Civil War, which they talk about on Game of Thrones, so it's not a spoiler. They call this is I think the Dance of the Dragons or Dance of Dragons.
The prequel books.
No, well they just talk about it in the show too.
Oh,
I think
okay.
there is an actual book this is based on.
Yeah,
And it's been
yeah,
written.
yeah.
It's all written. No, the ending is known. You know,
Is it? I
Which I think is a
haven't
big
read 'em.
plus.
I haven't read them, so I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So because George R. Martin is actually more actively involved with this than he was, especially at the end of the other series, you can tell. It's definitely reminding me a lot more of like early Game of Thrones, early like very violent, very cruel Game of Thrones. I'm kind of excited. I'm not gonna lie. There's been kind of like an interesting discussion this week of people reviewing it of like what actually was good about Game of Thrones to begin with. And yeah, I kind of just like the politicking and all that stuff. Probably could have like done without the like cross-cutting between like axes going into guys' heads with
A C-section.
yeah, with a really nasty birth
Yeah.
scene. That was borderline like ready to skip.
Yeah. it was.
So that was
Yeah, but it's Game of Thrones, so
Yeah,
sure. And
like-
let's be real. You knew that baby like was never gonna like
Live.
have live or the mother live or anything. Like even before the birth scene, you're like, yeah, there's no way.
Yep.
This is not going to
Because
plan.
it's Game of Thrones, and they will pick the most depressing option.
right.
Not even that. It's just
Plus, you kind of need
this
an
is-
inciting event.
Yeah,
you know?
there's got to be the trigger.
And that's really no better one than that, I guess.
Well, look, you had to do something jarring, given that everybody knows Targaryens are very ancestral. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
I was-
clearly
I was
not
waiting for
there
that
yet.
beat to drop.
And,
yeah,
like,
we're
ruthless
clearly
and
not
kinda
there yet,
nuts.
but we're going to get there. So let's try and
Well-
just set the weird thing high.
I mean,
so-
there's been not hints of that as far as I'm not gonna say the actor's name. Well, Matt Smith, who I can't remember his name. Well, 3 weeks. We need like a good 3 or 4 week buffer to
I think
like
it's
actually.
Damon, right? Damon.
Yeah,
Targaryen?
it's Damon, yeah.
Damon talking with his niece.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah,
like
a little-
weird.
I was
thing
expecting
going on
us to
there.
cut to a scene of them fucking, but
No,
never happened.
Sam, you can't do that in the pilot. That's
Well,
like
no,
that's like
no, but
episode
you,
No, that's-
7.
no, hold
That's
on.
pilot
You can
shit
only
right
do
there,
that for the
though.
Lancasters, but you can't do that for the Targaryens because that was the pilot for the first one.
Yeah, it is funny they're called Lannister and it's Lancaster and it's.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Roses.
Lannister. Sorry, Lannister.
Hey,
I messed
sort
it
of
up.
what
I
they
messed it up.
actually are.
I messed it up. Lannister.
Yeah. So, I just think it's like them kind of like going back, playing the hits. I'm not really gonna make any kind of like big call. I was never gonna just watch one episode. I'm kind of feeling it. I'm not like the hooks aren't like sunk into me, but there's some like promising stuff on the board, and we'll see kind of how it unravels. I mean, a lot of people kind of dwelling on the CGI. It's not the best for me, but
It's a
like,
TV again.
It's TV.
It's a
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
show.
I know,
So-
and it's like asking a lot too. It's like some dragon, like it's not insignificant. Like we didn't have dragons at the beginning of the first episode. Like it ramped up. What did you guys think?
So I wasn't expecting this, but I actually got like tingles when I was watching it. I'm like, this is Game of Thrones, and this is like you mentioned before. Like this is the good stuff of Game of Thrones, not the let's write a bad story stuff.
Right.
It's like this is kind of what made it fun in the beginning.
Not let's go fight zombies with magic. Kind of
Yeah,
thing. It's like,
yeah. And
Let's sit around at the table and talk this out.
yeah, exactly, or at least like scheme and all this
Right.
other,
Yes,
try
scheme.
and figure out the plans and the backstabbers and things like that. And then you get to like the weird stuff where the king and his daughter's best friend, like,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
feel like
something's
something's gonna happen
I mean,
there.
something probably already did. It was just off screen, but
No, I
it's
feel like
kinda
it's
this-
the beginnings.
yeah.
This is like the courting.
It's kinda
Yeah,
this
I mean, Game
weird-
of Thrones is not the we're gonna do it off screen kind of show.
Well, that's the thing. If it's off screen, it also leaves a little bit of, revelation later that might be
Ambiguity,
another.
where-
Yeah. Because Game of Thrones, you're right, doesn't hide anything, but there are also things that they do kind of hide and imply and bring up later. So it's just the way it is. But I just got like all tingly and excited. I'm like, this is the world that I fell in love with. It's obviously different characters, but like things are the same. We saw a Stark, and we saw a Stark kind of be I don't want to say a pansy, but like not a Stark. I got that from he was on the council table or whatever it was.
Is he?
Was he?
No, he's not.
That was a
there's
Stark.
I thought he was. I
No.
thought there was one at the.
When
Yeah, when
the
they're-
coronation, or
when
not
they're
coronation, but like
Pledging
yeah,
their loyalty.
Yeah.
There's
No,
like,
He's
who
like,
was the
I
other
so-and-so
guy- no.
Stark.
Who was the other guy
which guy?
at the table, at the small council table?
Like the bigger guy.
The bigger guy.
I don't
thought
know.
that was
He-
a
I
Stark.
No,
he wasn't a Stark.
I don't think he
They
Then
didn't
it was
say it
another
if he
name with
was.
an S.
Yeah.
There was another name with an S. Then it sounded like Stark.
I don't think he was a Stark.
If I don't know if you want to look that up.
Yeah,
but I
please,
heard
John.
I heard Stark. But then again, I could be mistaken. But then again, all the other houses, I just got really excited hearing the names. Like you got
I know.
Dendarian is there, and then you had the Baratheons are there, and then obviously Targaryens. But then you see like Hightower, and you're like, okay, well at some point something happens because it's not in the
I think his name is Strong, by the way.
Strong. Okay,
Yeah,
then
there you
all right,
go.
then I was.
Which isn't there some like Sir Robert Strong or something like that? Isn't that the Mountain? No,
I don't know.
they're Clegane. Okay, I don't know.
I don't know. Either way, it was awesome seeing the names again. Kind of Game of Thrones going back to its kind of roots. I liked it. I really actually enjoyed it. It wasn't too bad. And again, we're not going one in. We're going to go the full way.
Oh, yeah.
See what happens. At this point, they're not going to lose me. Nothing they can do could really lose me. Even with all the gruesome stuff, it's like honestly, cutting a baby out of your wife's womb and eventually the baby dying, like that's just Game of Thrones to me.
Yeah,
That's just Game
my
of
reaction
Thrones.
was, yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like the C-section was a little much.
It was, but like you knew what was happening.
Right.
You-
But there's ways where you can shoot that and you don't show them literally digging around in
Well, yeah,
in
you
the
could
wo- like
well, it's
Yeah, but I don't think that's this. This shows like the gruesome reality of
yeah. I think
nature of man.
the
Like
the point of the scene was to show that the king wanted this, and he's kind of losing his
Yeah.
mind a little bit, and
I
don't know,
like,
there
I
was-
wouldn't
there
say
was
he's
years-
losing his
well,
mind
hold on.
because
Let's
there have been plenty instances in the past of like, well, a queen's role is to give me a male heir, and I don't give a damn about her health as long as she gives me that heir. Like, there's so many kings out there that were like that. So like,
sure, but I think
they're not losing their mind. That's just like
well,
their mentality
I
in
think
general.
I think after years of peace and prosperity that they've said in the show that it's
Yeah.
been forever. They were only 170 something years out. Like we're eventually gonna start running into the Mad King is like 100 years removed from this. So implying that Targaryens are kind of going crazy.
So okay.
It just opens up that door. Like he
I
can
didn't
kind
get
of
the,
just
I didn't
lose
get
it.
the vibe that he was going
no,
crazy.
not at all.
Well, you know, I'm just saying the door was open.
Well, he was a
Doors
little
open.
bit denying, like, he had those like pustules on the back, and he was like, it's nothing. Like,
Yeah, but like that's like
Yeah, that's different.
normal,
Yeah.
like human reaction
Yeah.
to
yeah,
you're probably dying.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
just think like gout was like back in
that
it
gout?
this no he didn't have, but I'm saying gout in like the 1600s were a sign of wealth. Like you wanted gout, like that was huge. That means like you ate well and
You
like
have massive foot pain. Yeah.
yeah, but it was like, oh, this guy has gout. Oh man, that guy's the best. Like
the healthy eater.
yeah, right, like that. But that's how people were, like 400 500 years ago. Like the wealthy people all got the gout, but now we understand it's like, oh, gout is bad. So
Probably eat a
it's
vegetable at some
yeah,
point.
so it's that kind of thing where it's like you have all these things on your back, like these pustules, like whatever. Like I don't really give a damn. Like I'll survive. I've survived this long. It's like, well, it's probably killing you, but that's because we understand modern medicine and they don't.
Sure. But I'm in.
All right.
100%. I enjoyed it a lot. Bring it back.
So I want to preface this. I'm really not trying to be a contrarian right now,
Oh.
but like, I didn't really enjoy this,
Okay.
and I know why it is. So I was watching this, I'm like, oh, I never realized how much Game of Thrones really depended on the characters, because all the characters in this are really boring.
We are one in.
They're-
There's no
they're-
Tyrion.
They're all very like archetypical and like just like, oh yeah, there's the ambitious brother, and
We are
For
one
sure.
in.
yeah, no, I'll give it that. We're one.
I will like caution the first really though, the first few, it takes a while for the actual show to get going and people actually have any kind of personality and not seem like caricatures too. Like, it's literally only Tyrion for half of the first season is actually seems like a real person. Everyone else seems like they're just playing the string out, you
Yeah.
know?
But you don't really have a Tyrion.
No, you don't, and that is a legit problem.
It's because it's like, if there's no Tyrion, it's just like entitled people sitting in rooms like saying stupid things. It's like, this is somewhat unpleasant.
That is Tyrion, though, entitled person sitting in a room saying stupid things.
Yeah, but he had this chip on his shoulder, but it was from the fact that he was always kept out.
Right.
And there's something
But
you
he,
could kind of connect there, and there was also this interesting.
But he was
aspect.
just inherently interesting too.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like he goes to the wall just to piss off the end of the wall.
Yeah.
We could also get a Tyrion type character introduced.
But I feel like it should have been introduced at least in the first episode.
But remember, we're also set, you have an hour, and you need to introduce these, key players here.
I know, it's just there's just nobody interesting, and it's just kind of like, oh, so it's just gonna be people fighting over the throne again.
Yeah. I'll admit there's aspects of it that is very just pro forma of run it back.
This
slightly different.
This very much feels like we're just giving the people what they want, and oftentimes you don't do that because people don't actually know what they want.
Fair enough.
And it's just there's no meat here, I guess. There's nothing I can dig into. Even we can't have a woman on the throne. I felt like, could you expand upon that a bit? Explain the misogyny a bit?
Yeah, well, they kind of did. They
yeah,
mentioned
they touched upon
100 years of no woman being on the throne. So you're assuming
what's the rationale of
right.
we can't let her on the throne?
right, and it's odd too that it's 100 years. So it's all right. So what? 3 generations? That's not that much time.
And
it's not 500 years without a woman on the throne like that. Okay, that's getting understandable.
I know I was kind of down on the movie, but one of the best parts of it was in The Last Duel, when they had the court scene where they're like, well, if she isn't having an orgasm, she can't get pregnant, and that weird misogyny and everything in there. It's that was actually kind of interesting, and it explained the rationale of this society. We didn't really get that. We just got she can't be a king because she's got a vagina. It's I would like to see more rationale of
Yeah,
But a lot of other people don't need that rationale.
I feel like we kind of do.
Just to explain that a woman can't be queen.
Yeah, just give us a peek inside the mentality of this society.
So to give you an idea, by the way, because essentially what this is it's a stand-in for the history of England. Not to get too deep into it, but so 100 years is essentially Aegon's conquest. So the Targaryens come from.
I'm assuming that's the Norman conquest.
Yeah, exactly. They come from Essos. They have the dragons, which is kind of no one has an answer for, and they essentially conquer and unite everyone in Westeros. So that's when they said 100 years.
okay.
I don't know. I was just looking at that for me, I guess, but
Yeah.
but so that's I guess where they're set, and then another 200 years is essentially Daenerys.
Yeah. 150. Well, yeah, it would be close.
And we get the
175-ish.
War of the Roses sort of deal.
Yeah.
Right. Or is this just I guess a civil war?
Yeah.
Which I don't. I mean, when you just say the concept of Targaryen civil war, I'm Yeah, kinda. But I will say this, Sam. You're not wrong. Like I think
I'm not trying to be contrarian. I do like Game of Thrones. It's just like I like Game of Thrones because it had interesting people in it. This doesn't feel like we have interesting people in it.
yeah.
Like even Cersei, where it's like, yeah, she's evil, but like she's kind of actually a good mother.
Sure, but like
It's like she's actually looking out for her family.
yeah.
Where
I
it's
just-
like there's some complexity there. There's some something interesting going on there.
I think I'm just more like I think the king is like can be interesting.
He kind of feels like just your stereotypical, like, a little weak king who, like, maybe didn't deserve the throne. And,
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing, like, deeper going on there, I feel.
We'll see what Matt Smith's character's like. There seems to be maybe some meat on the bone
I
there.
mean,
I don't know
I'll
if he's
g-
going to be too close to the like Joffrey stand-in or something like that.
Yeah, I'll give it this, seeing Matt Smith's butts is always a good sign that we're going to get a good show.
Wow.
You do get to see his ass.
No, you see it.
No, I said you do get
Yeah,
to see
you
his
do
ass.
get to see his ass.
Did you see? I don't think you saw his last night in Soho.
I don't know. I've never seen that one.
No, I don't think he gets naked
No.
in that.
I
Yeah.
forgot who actually saw that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so-
there. So maybe that's we're onto it. Anyway, yeah, I'm just like gonna give it time. I think.
Yeah, I'll give it
But
a couple
I-
more episodes. It's just like I was watching this episode, I'm like, I'm so bored. Also, like, I don't know. My feeling with that whole like jousting scene was like, this isn't how they would do it. They would actively like try to prevent people from dying because you didn't want your best soldiers from like just dying in a jousting accident.
Yeah.
Plus,
So
this was like the heirs to like different houses. Like you didn't
Yeah.
want them dying. Like this seems unusually violent.
Yeah.
They do make the comment though of like there hasn't been war, which I don't think there really had been. So like
Yeah, but like even then, it's
Still,
like you don't want to
yeah.
lose like the firstborn of a house.
Right. Like, why would you enter them into this kind of
like
contest?
this is why like
'cause they're the
these,
best
these
fighter.
tournaments in
Well,
the medieval
hand
Europe.
of the queen, because
that's how-
Well,
Rhaenys
this is-
there's
isn't
no other
engaged or anything.
there's no other metric to like measure yourself
Well,
against
no,
someone
like
else.
this is why like jousting and this kind of tournaments were oftentimes banned in medieval Europe. Like they didn't let this happen because like people would die and you didn't want people to die.
But this isn't medieval Europe.
Yeah, but like it's a stand-in.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like
sure,
you know,
sure.
Like,
the thought process
ev-
would be similar.
Everything about this is like we're trying to make this as realistic as possible, which always makes me feel like then why aren't you just making a story about medieval Europe? But
Well, then people would get pissed. You can make history whatever you want when it's fake.
That's true. He's got a point. Now my turn.
Sure.
I'm an outside looking in.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've only seen the, I guess, important episodes of
You've
Game
only
of
ever
Thrones.
seen the important-
Somehow, I don't know how that happened, and then I watched the entire final season.
Did you watch the Ned Stark getting his head chopped?
I
off
did
him?
not.
Okay, so
Okay.
you're missing one.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
one probably
Yeah.
important one. Did you watch the first episode?
No.
Oh well, that.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
right.
you're
Second.
missing the early important
like I
episodes.
didn't watch any of the first season. So like I'm going in this as blind as
Okay.
I know of Game of Thrones. I understand what Game of Thrones is, and I understand that it was a
you're
cultural
impartial.
phenomenon.
You're impartial.
So I'm impartial
Sort
to
of.
what's going on here. So watching this episode and having a basic understanding of what Game of Thrones is, this episode kind of reminded me of the Game of Thrones version of The Force Awakens, where it's like,
Yeah.
let's give the fans what
Alright.
they want.
It's not
Yeah.
not that.
Yeah, like you even hear like as they're like running through the streets, like na 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 na, like you hear the theme. I'm like,
They very much were trying to
Yeah.
get the theme in there.
yeah, they were like, let's force it in there, and like it just like
Which
it,
I don't know why they did the knockoff version because it's like you have the rights.
yeah, right, like
Because it's different. Sam.
yeah, it's different. No, it just like it felt like, I understand Game of Thrones is violent and whatnot, but like if that's what the fans want and not like you said, Sam, like actual
Interesting characters.
interesting characters, it's like let's sacrifice the interesting characters for like a C-section scene where it's as graphic as we possibly could. Like, why is that interesting? I don't give a damn about the C-section watching that. Give me an interesting character.
It's just kind of gory.
Yeah, it's like it made me just like, all right, I'm gonna walk away and come back when this is over. I didn't want to watch.
John, shouldn't that like C-section happen like 3 episodes later, where we like really get to know the queen?
Yeah.
So her
I
death
feel bad when she
feels
dies.
Impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was very early.
Well,
and like and it's kind of sad that like that's going on at the same time people's faces are getting bashed in the tournament, and I'm like, show me more of that. I can take that. I don't want to see somebody digging around the insides of somebody as they're bleeding out. Like that's kind of disturbing.
Isn't kind of not necessarily the point of Game of Thrones, but isn't kind of part of Game of Thrones to get you emotionally hitting every point of the spectrum?
How is that?
like,
How is that
it's not
emotionally?
emotional.
That's not emotion. That's me just being like, yeah, I don't.
That's
Yeah,
just
but
disgust.
that's you being disgusted with it, which is part of the
So
like
it's-
part of the scale.
But like sometimes unappealing things are just unappealing.
Yeah. So
no, I'm not disagreeing with you, but like sometimes there's things
it's
that
a
are so
scene
bad that you don't want to see it.
yeah, it's a scene where if we weren't doing this and I was just giving this a shot, the episode was over for me. I'd turn it off, never go back.
But like if you actually cared about the queen, you'd probably sit through
I would be
that.
like, oh my god, like this is horrible. She's gonna die. Like I would
like
care.
you feel bad.
Yeah.
You'd like be like, okay, someone has to pay for this.
I actually think it's more fucked up if you actually had an attachment to the queen, and then that's what.
Yeah.
no,
was
but
the
like
thing.
that
That's the point.
But
though.
no, but like it's like unbearably.
but like that's
you
the red
can't.
wedding.
That is the red wedding.
Like that's the whole point of the red wedding was like you were attached to
Okay,
these characters.
real
to
talk.
watch them
I
die.
didn't care about anyone who died in the red wedding. Sorry.
All right.
Really, the red wedding like shook me for 3 days.
Rob
Yeah.
Stark was not a good character. Rob Stark was actually like a garbage character.
It doesn't matter. He was like the most noble person. That's just no. Do not talk.
Yeah,
about
yeah. It was a feeling of
Do
oh,
not say anything bad about that.
I get to sit with
He-
all these
no.
unpleasant people from now on.
He fucked over his entire family because he couldn't keep it in his pants.
valid. I mean, yeah.
Now, Catelyn Stark, you have a point. You have a point.
He needs to freaking finish these books because she's not dead. Well, she came back.
Yeah, she's like the
She's
red
like a
witch.
zombie.
She's
or
Lady
something.
Red. I forget.
Stone,
Red-
red, something.
You're right.
She's
something.
like with the guys without banner.
Yep,
or whatever.
Barrington Darien.
Yeah.
So
They're-
the
she's
flame
with
sword
them.
dude.
Brothers
Yeah.
Without Banners.
those
Brothers
Brothers without banners.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
it's like okay. We need the books to be done.
Like I couldn't. I was like
The
thinking
real
about
books
this,
to be done. Not
and
the,
like I was trying to remember all the names, and like for the life of me, I can't remember the other Lannister, the Lannister brother. I was like, was he One Arm Jim?
lefty.
Jimmy One Arm. I just remember he had one arm.
Yeah. When it comes to Matt Smith, so they couldn't make him more generic, could they?
Yeah, he's kinda like-
they're like he's evil. Why? Because he's evil.
He's ambitious.
He's the evil one because he does evil things. Watch all these evil things he does. It's like, all right, so he's the villain. Like,
Yeah. No, well, I mean, yeah, clearly.
Yeah,
Like,
but,
I mean,
like-
he's obviously going to be the bad guy. Like,
Yeah.
we did cast Matt Smith.
yeah, well,
Like, in
in
Slash
a weird
it.
way, though, like he's in some ways the most interesting because at times they almost hint where it's like,
Yeah.
he's not that evil.
right.
I just.
But then
like,
there's the
they
whole
don't
like
give you
city guard
anything.
thing that he does, and there's like, you're a rapist. Off with your balls. You stole. Off with your
Yeah,
arm.
I didn't get that.
And
Are
like,
those people actually
No,
accused and
none of
convicted,
them.
or are they
So-
just
I
like
have
they-
no
they
idea. They
mentioned-
give us no
Yeah,
context.
yeah,
But
that's,
then
and then I got a huge
they
problem.
say they're
they say it in the
criminals.
small council meeting that they were all criminals. So
Yeah,
it's like,
so
okay, well,
It's
yeah, I
also
didn't get
like a
that.
medieval city, so like justice system isn't exactly complex back then.
But like they mentioned that this is King's Landing,
Yes.
which they totally dropped that in a not wink wink manner.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Where they're like here in King's Landing. No, like
okay.
everything they dropped things like it was like, huh? Remember that Game of Thrones fans? That's how I felt like every time I heard something that like I remembered from Game of Thrones. I was like, oh god.
Okay.
Anyways,
There was a lot of fan service.
yeah,
in this.
very fan servicey.
I'll say this. I don't know how much, like, I can't. there's a lot of story, there's a lot to set up and like interesting characters and have it be like a functional episode and still be an hour. Maybe it should have been a 2-part pilot. Maybe they should have done 2 hours at once.
Honestly,
that's
probably
a
would've-
totally
I haven't
but
gotten
fair
any
critique.
hint that any of these characters are going to be that
No.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
but
But like, what origin story movie now? And again, we haven't had even like a real origin story. It's all been guy who's been in a billion comic books, so like people kind of know what his deal is. Like, have we had that is like less than 2.5 hours? Yeah. And even those don't work. Even though those guys are like super fucking generic, or like one guy is interesting and everybody else is. There's a lot to do in 1 hour.
I agree. But I do agree with you that this should have been a 2-parter.
It could have been.
I feel like
That's what
Yeah,
we're
but
gonna
it's
get
not-
with Lord of the Rings.
But it's
Yeah.
it's not like they're fishing for approval.
No, yeah,
Right.
they know they have the fans out there
Yeah,
that'll watch
like
this.
this
I'm just saying this as
other
somebody on
shows.
the outside looking in. This is how I view this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what I'm saying is fact. This is just as somebody who never actually sat down and loved Game of
Sean,
Thrones.
I'm just saying, I'm very glad someone else was like, these characters are really boring.
Yeah.
Because like everybody's been giving this glowing reviews, and I'm like,
Right.
really? Because like I got really bored watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have a positive review, but it's like 75%. Like, it's not,
And like you brought up,
I'm
John,
super into it.
People complaining about the CGI. The CGI is pretty terrible on the
Like
dragons.
I'm willing
It's
to
pretty
forgive
bad.
it because
not great.
Again,
common theme for tonight's episode.
Yeah.
it's they're not dropping $150 million per episode.
How much are they dropping per episode on this?
I don't know.
Probably
I
like
think it's-
50
I think it's four- I think it's
I don't know. I have no
they're
idea.
dropping a
I'm-
lot.
Yeah, they
it's
are dropping a lot
but
of
it's
money.
nowhere. It's like
Yeah.
nowhere near what they were doing last season of Game of
Sure.
Thrones per
Right.
episode.
But technology does advance.
No, I get
But
that.
has CGI, though?
but
Yes,
also,
CGI does advance.
Uh,
I mean, there is the
the proof is not out there.
when
man.
when Matt Smith is like petting the dragon in the up close, and you're like, oh, that's a practical, and then it goes back, and you're like, and Matt Smith looks like a rag doll.
You know what's
like it looks bad.
But you know what the thing is? It's not that type of show.
I'm going to tell you, though,
And if you're
But
being,
this
if
is-
you're like
but-
holding up on
here's-
CGI.
But here's the thing with
come on.
this show, not Game of Thrones, this House of Dragons,
Yes.
is it's focusing on the dragons. The name, it is in the name.
but
they
they're the
have,
House
of the Dragon,
They
which is
have-
literally the
I would
Targaryen
say
family.
the dragons play almost no role in this episode.
No.
no, but they're seen.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying,
So?
going forward, I like the dragons are going to play a part.
Oh, sure.
Because
Well, if it's a war of
from what
Targaryens,
well,
yeah.
from what I understand, dragons are no more by Game of Thrones comes around till
Yeah.
Daenerys
Do
gets the
do
three.
you think we get a big battle this season?
I don't know.
Yes,
I think it's
'cause
too
that's what
early.
the fans want.
But it's
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, no. If this follows the A Force Awakens path, yes, we will get a.
But
So
big
it's
battle.
probably-
well, you're assuming that.
in the back of my
That-
mind.
and like any answer is always going to be assuming. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Assuming
You're asking an assuming
assuming
question.
assuming you're linking the HBO production system with Disney production.
But what I feel with this show is
Well,
they're giving you what the fans want.
One's a trilogy of like okay, so this is as like a completed story. It's probably like what, like 5 seasons, something like that. The other one was like
I'd say you
6
can
or
probably
7.
tie this up in 4 or 5. Yeah.
Okay, that's like most. I think most shows set out to like make 5 seasons now. That just sounds like a good
Yeah.
number. That's like the what is that? The Greek tragedy thing is 5 acts. It's a nice it's a nice number. There'd be obviously there's gonna be some battle. Is it like a big battle? I don't know. Is it Blackwater? I don't mean. They would like every other season would have a big battle, right?
Yeah, and then later on you get more often, but
Right, but it
look, I could go.
it's like Return of the King has like 3 massive battles in like the
Yeah.
last 45 minutes.
Look,
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, and we can all agree Game of Thrones is better earlier, and there was a lot of battles, but a lot of it was off screen.
right.
A lot of it was off screen.
because I just enjoyed being with those characters.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This,
And I do know,
if you can get that,
I do know for a fact there is a time jump in this show.
Yeah, which
there
is
really?
why
Oh, okay.
I think
Yes.
we needed to have we couldn't like go super developed and like mourn the queen and whatever
Right.
because we're gonna jump in like 4 episodes or 5 3 or 4
I don't know how
what
many
was the
episodes.
episode count this season?
I think
10.
10.
It's 10.
Good. Good.
But I do know there's a time jump because different actors played the the
princess
and her friend.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, there's two different.
I love not looking into some of this stuff.
Oh,
'cause
well,
it's
they're
just, like,
labeled as
surprising.
Well,
young
yeah.
and then like normal and like
Can't help but go on IMDb.
Oh yeah, especially when I'm like, who is that? And I'm like, oh shit! Like the right hand guy was what, Rice Effens or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea. Like watching,
Hand
I
of
was
the
like,
King. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I know him, and then I'm like, oh my god, it's the kicker from The Replacements.
It's the bad brother from Little Nicky.
He's the bad, or he's the lizard from the bad.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
That movie holds up, man. That movie holds up.
It gets a lot of
When's
crap,
their
but it's,
Con
I
Classic
like
for that? We should do a double Hoobie Halloween and Little Nicky.
Oh my god. Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so
No,
So I think where are you? So where are the negative not? Where are
Negative
you
net-
guys at as far as the contrarian vibe? Like, what's if we weren't doing this, would you still watch it?
Like I said, I would have shut this off at the C-section scene because there was nothing up until that point that had me like attached to this episode. If I was just like going in blind and I wasn't doing this podcast, that's when I would shut it off because I didn't care.
Okay.
Yeah. If this wasn't labeled Game of Thrones, I would have given up.
Okay.
Because like,
Fair enough.
there's just nothing here.
Yeah.
In this first episode, that makes me like want to stick around.
And the other reason
Like,
why I compare
if this wasn't called Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
I'd call this a cheap Game of Thrones knockoff.
The other reason why I say this is very close to The Force Awakens is because like fans loved that when it first came out. Absolutely loved it, and it was kind of like
except
well,
these 4 fans.
No, I
still
I
insist
really
it's
liked
alright.
it.
You liked it? At
Oh,
first?
when it first came out, I was like, "Wow, that's
Yeah, I liked
exactly what I wanted."
I
and
think
then
I hated
as
this.
it
I was not impressed.
as it
I was
as
not
it like
impressed.
settled and like I was like, "Wait a minute, I was tricked." Like, J.J. Abrams.
I think my opening argument was it was the same movie.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
but like not even like hiding the fact.
right.
Yeah.
like
right
at
in your
all.
face.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see
anyways.
how this plays out.
Look, so this is going to be. I don't think this is going to be a weekly discussion. I think we stick away from
depends.
those for certain
We'll
TV
see.
shows.
We'll see.
It depends if something major happens.
I'll say this. I think it culturally we could probably do it every
Right.
week.
Yeah.
Unless all the characters start wearing feather boas and they start doing music acts, I don't know if I'm going to be that interested in doing this every week.
No.
Okay.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it is. So this is.
see how it goes.
So this is
Yeah.
going to be one summer blockbuster, and
Yeah.
it's already guaranteed.
I-
and then the next one will be in 2 weeks' time.
and I will fully commit to this whole season.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
100%.
We're all there.
All right.
Like whether or not I like it or not, if
right.
it gets better or
Sean,
worse, I'm committed
I
to
need
this
help
whole
with
season.
this because
Yeah.
this is starting out good,
Right.
and I feel
Like-
like you're the only other one.
And
that will
like
help me.
I feel like when we were talking about Game of Thrones when it was like original air, it was just too late for me to try jumping in and like binge watch. Like I
Yeah.
just couldn't do it.
Thrones isn't really a hard binge either.
But I didn't have HBO at the time when we first started talking about it, and that's why I jumped in the last season. It was like, you know what? At least I can jump in. I can talk about
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Anyway, so this is the big one of the big blockbusters this summer. In 2 weeks, we're going to do Lord of the Rings as well. So
Yeah.
we'll have some nice comparison. Which one's the heavy hitter of the
Oh
summer?
boy.
It'll be funny because Lord of the Rings will take place entirely like Game of Thrones will end after Lord of the Rings.
Wow. How many episodes
Yes.
is Lord of the Rings?
8,
Six?
and they're
it's
going to do
8.
2 the first week.
Wow. Yeah. Which I know we've talked about in the past on this podcast, but I like that.
Okay, the double
premiere.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. For whatever reason. I would think
we'll
this
see
When
one
has
might-
it not? When has it not?
Ooh, well, you guys didn't watch Vinyl, but Vinyl was not
Oh.
good. That was like a 2-hour premiere that felt like forever. No longer on HBO Max, so can't watch it now anyway.
Well, there's your answer.
Anyway, let's talk about the other premiere
Yes.
last week
Yeah.
that we are now covering 2 episodes this week. So, spoiler if you've not watched today, which is Thursday,
The
even though this is not going to
25th.
go up until next Wednesday anyway.
That's
but,
not true.
Anyway, so She-Hulk, Attorney at Law,
Yeah.
2 episodes in. Does someone want to do the main tease on this one?
So this is about Bruce Banner's cousin,
Mm-hmm.
who gets into a car accident. his blood mixes with hers, and she gains powers of the Hulk, which, based on the comic book, she gets a blood transfusion from Bruce Banner. So we've already seen this kind of transition of power that went nowhere, though, in the Incredible Hulk with the leader, where there's that scientist who was trying to cure him. He crashes, and then he has the blood dripping into his brain.
Yeah,
and
it was
like,
what's his face?
yeah,
From Watchmen and Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
yeah. What is his name? Oh man, the guy with the silver mask.
Yeah.
Just skip it.
Yeah. Anyways, when you
Yeah, Looking Glass from
Yeah.
Who
Watchmen.
is? Oh, oh man, I
Right?
can't tell you what his name
Yeah.
is.
right?
I was thinking in the movie though.
No,
He's
no.
Buster Scruggs in the Ballad of Buster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, that actor.
Wow.
He plays the leader that went literally nowhere. So you finally actually see the transfusion of blood actually go somewhere. Which is all right, fine. Yeah, it's just about her coping with her life and being able to be a superhero, which, unlike the Hulk, she is able to keep consciousness. There's no two entities
Personalities.
fighting each other, like in Bruce Banner. And yeah, so she's able to continue her career as a lawyer.
Well, attempt to continue the career.
Yeah.
Well, she is in this
Well,
episode,
she is
second
now,
episode.
yeah.
I mean, you find out in the second episode what happens, but yeah, she's still a lawyer with,
Which I like.
Which
Which I like.
is fine.
She's
Which
lawyering
she is.
around.
She is in the comics. She-Hulk is a lawyer.
Yeah, I know. That's fine.
Cool.
Which like good take. The concept of like a superhero lawyer.
Yeah.
I dig it. I mean, not necessarily a
the-
lawyer who's a superhero.
Yeah.
A superhero for or lawyer for superheroes who also happens to
This is
be
the
one.
second best TV show that I know of that has that concept.
Yes, number one is
Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
Is that on HBO Max? I don't know.
Yes,
yes,
it
it
is.
is.
I
That
literally
is,
just
okay.
watched
All
it.
right.
100%.
I have to go back and
recommend
watch that one.
And-
But
anyway,
what we're
back to
talking
She-Hulk,
about
yes.
is She-Hulk attorney at law.
Yes.
So I think this is our first character who doesn't want to be the superhero.
Yes, she absolutely denies.
Or
being
at
a
least
Yeah.
like we're not getting them begrudgingly being a superhero.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
she openly tries not to be.
And like she's not really being.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
at the end of the
Yeah.
first episode, she's kind of like convinced by her friend. She's like, "Do the Hulk thing,"
And
she's
like it happens very
"Fine."
briefly and then that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I kind of like it. That there's that kind of like inner battle. You know, you are a superhero. You have the abilities, but you don't want to use them, and you want to like you're trying to use. I mean, this is kind of just the standard. You're trying to use your brains over your brawn.
right. Yeah,
And keep your career going because, like, I mean, going to law school is no joke. It takes
Yeah.
a lot of work, and you know, you don't want to
And
say you waste it just to
yeah.
become a superhero.
You have pride in what you're doing, which she was the assistant DA when like she got into the accident. Like she built a career, and like yeah, like if I was in my career and I got to that point, like pretty high up, yeah, I would be like very okay with continuing with that because that's my passion.
It's all you are.
Yeah.
There was some critiques like this isn't a courtroom drama, and they were expecting or wanted one. In truth, I don't necessarily want to see that, and I don't think we're gonna get that.
No, and I'm okay with that because that's what Harvey Birdman is.
Well, sure. We're talking Marvel here.
Sure.
I like the idea of her defending, prosecuting, you know, superheroes, or at least the hero or villain, you know, versions
mainly
of these.
villain right now.
But well, yeah, but
Going with
well
this
we can
first
get
ep-
into
the
that. But
second
hopefully,
episode.
over the season, we get into the kind of the aspect of all right, well, there are good and bad ones, and then figure out, you know, motivations, things like that. How is the court system going to work for all this other stuff? Like, I kind of like that idea. I don't necessarily need to
Now-
see like laser fingers shooting things,
Right.
but
Well, I mean, if you don't want a legal drama, I don't know how much that's gonna be talked about. I mean, isn't that kind of what that is?
a legal. Well, yeah, I
How
guess.
the court system's gonna work.
But I'm not expecting like, you know, like Law and Order style,
like-
like
Sure.
courtroom.
like how like it's an hour episode and 20
you know,
minutes of
I
it
would
is
say
in the
this is
courtroom.
more Sex in the City than it is Law and Order.
Okay.
which is fine.
which I don't hate.
Well, which
Now,
I just want to point out, I'm liking the show a lot more than I thought I would.
Okay.
I'm kind of in the same boat,
Like,
so
I kind of enjoy the show.
right? I think it's like funny enough.
Like I've laughed out loud a couple of times. Like there's funny
Yeah,
moments.
the guy bringing the welcome basket.
Yeah, it's like
This is the best bathroom to poop in.
oh man.
Which I mean,
if we
if you've
let's be
worked
honest,
in any
if you-
office before,
No, you don't have to work in any office. If you work in any building, you know what bathroom to poop in.
exactly.
Like,
you know the good poop
Yeah.
bathroom.
Oh yeah. Like, and unfortunately, like my good poop bathroom, I have a guy who's in there like 24/7, and it pisses me off.
well,
Like he recently started like 6 months ago. And he's always in the fucking bathroom, and like it pisses us all off. Like we've been like
everybody.
we have a chart of like when he goes in, and like he's in there for like 4 hours a day.
They
It's
subtly
bullshit.
brush it off as a joke, but every single person
Oh,
who
we're
works,
vo-
including
yes.
like contractors and lawn care people, they
Everyone.
have restaurants and
Yep.
things that they know, which is the
Oh,
good
yeah.
one.
See, I took that to mean here's the good bathroom to poop in if you're 6'7" and green.
That's what you took that as?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? I didn't.
No,
I didn't
like
think so.
I took it as
I took-
everyone has that.
I took it
good
as
bathroom.
like this is an office. There's a poop
Yeah.
bathroom.
yeah,
Everyone has a poop bathroom.
yeah. Every
That's just
single
every
one.
bathroom to me, but
No, there's specialty ones.
Yeah.
Just doesn't have that
The
picky.
privacy, like
oh,
you're
I mean, I
away
know
from
the
everyone else.
poop bathroom, but
Yeah.
like in my current place, there's really none. So
Okay.
All right.
they're all poop bathrooms.
Yeah, not us.
Getting back to the, it was
Yeah.
it had
Yeah.
like good bits of comedy in there.
Like, I'm also enjoying it where like we're not really going down the standard Marvel like punch 'em up kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go there eventually, but so far we haven't really gone down there.
Yeah, the origin story was one
The-
of those. Like, let's
yeah.
just get it out of the way. and
There was
be
the
done with
brief
it.
appearance with what's her face? Was it Titana or whatever?
Yeah,
yeah.
at the end.
At the end of the first episode, where it's like, hey, for like a minute, they're just gonna like fight for
Yeah.
like
And that's
probably
mostly
less than a
just to
minute.
establish that
Yeah.
like everybody knows
Boom.
she's
Who
She-Hulk.
are you? Turn to the camera. She-Hulk is somebody I pride myself on reading comics. I don't really know too much about She-Hulk. I know the basics. I've kind of avoided those comics altogether. Like she doesn't intrigue me at all. Like I really don't care. Based on that. And watching the show, I'm more or less interested in how John feels about this show.
I defer to John.
I-
It's such
I
a
am-
cop out.
yeah.
That's an interesting pull.
No. I'm really interested in how. So like we've heard Sam and Chris, you guys obviously are into this show.
Yeah.
Like you're positive, and like John is usually the contrarian when it comes to Marvel TV shows or movies.
John is our how is
Yeah.
this? He's our buoy, essentially. When we go
Yeah.
deep, he
Yeah.
like keeps us afloat and says,
Yeah.
"No, guys, you're
Yeah.
gonna drown if
So-
you keep going."
So I'm more or less interested in how John feels about this show, because I mean, he might like it, he might not. I don't know. Let's see, John.
As
She-Hulk.
the only norm in this room,
Okay, here's my take so far.
Yeah.
First episode, not really doing it for me. Like just
Okay.
kind of like, oh, we're just gonna talk for a lot and punch stuff and whatever.
All right.
Second episode, parts I liked, but it was like 20 minutes and I had like nothing to hold on to, and like they forced a lot into it.
Okay.
I'm like not hating this show.
Okay.
Might take an interesting turn and just hasn't gotten there for me
Yeah.
yet.
Okay.
what do you guys think about the fourth wall?
I'm fine
It's
with it.
unique.
I kind of like
For-
it.
I mean,
these shows,
considering
it's
every
unique.
other fucking Marvel thing winks at the screen anyway, like
Yeah.
at least this one just talks to you too.
They're just obviously winking at you.
Right.
And another thing, you know, like there were some concerns, and I think we've expressed a couple. Like the CGI
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me enough.
It
to
hasn't been
really-
distracting. It's not good, but it hasn't been distracting.
Yeah, but again, we're falling into this whole TV show thing. Like, let's just go with it.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
What bothers me, and I had the same exact beef with Mando / Boba Fett, whatever. It doesn't look right when they're talking, and that seems like a
Okay.
very like simple thing to not fuck up.
Well, I know with Mando, it's a little different because
Right.
of the sound mixing.
Yeah, and what is it actually like? They're But I just
So
it's
you're
just
talking
their
about
lips
yeah,
moving.
you're
It's
talking
not
about
like
Luke,
it actually,
Luke, so Mark Hamill.
Right.
So what they did with that is they had the stand-in who mouthed, spoke the words, and then they had Mark Hamill now say the lines, and then they digitally youngified the lines.
It's not so
and
much that it sounded weird. It's just
looked
that it doesn't.
weird. It doesn't sync
it
up.
doesn't,
It doesn't
right,
sync
and it
up,
didn't.
yeah.
There's a lot of scenes with like Bruce Banner talking as the Hulk, where it doesn't look like either, and it's just. And then it's maybe even just a sound design thing because like the stuff that like Tatiana Maslany is like saying as She-Hulk, like is like ADR, or it's like after the like it's not recorded in the room or anything.
Okay.
And it just
Yeah, I remember a few lines that were like that.
It just
where
seems like
it
a really
just was
simple
odd.
thing that like I'm surprised the ball is dropping there.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
always like, how is this really gonna look? I mean, like, what's your real expectation here? Like,
Right.
especially when I was talking early on of like, well, this is the second episode was like 21 and a half minutes long, and
Yeah.
there's 7 minutes of credits.
Yeah.
It's like,
it was.
I know we get a lot of the like, voice acting, multi-language stuff and all of these that for some reason screws up my Apple TV and it doesn't realize I watched all the episodes because I only have like 7 minutes left.
Okay.
Apart from that,
Yeah, see, I just
there's
end
a
up
lot of
skipping
special
through.
effects stuff.
Yeah.
So, but and actually, I didn't realize there was the after credit stuff in this too.
Yeah. So I definitely recommend
Every
sticking
episode.
around for
Yeah,
that.
every episode has one.
Well, the second one you can skip the after credits.
Yeah,
that
it's just
one
like
was-
deleted scene.
First one was actually pretty good.
What was the first one?
Steve Rogers.
It was about
yeah.
Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers!
Yeah, Steve Rogers. Fuck. Yeah,
I actually enjoyed that.
yeah, that was he
that-
lost his virginity in 1943
yeah, on the
to-
USO tour.
Yeah.
No, and that was fine.
that was pretty funny. I like that one.
This so just going over She-Hulk, this show is getting review bombed horridly.
Really?
Yes. So obviously, no. So you see this happen every so often. So I've seen it compared to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We all kind of agree that show was pretty much a mess. And there's different reasons. They had to re-edit like the storyline because it dealt with a plague that was killing people, and
Also
it's like,
wasn't good.
there were a lot of problems with that. So if you look at the reviews on that, and it makes a nice bell curve. So where it's like some 10, like we'll go with IMDb because you give that a number. It's not like Rotten Tomatoes where it's a yes or no. You're actually giving it a number. So it's easier to plot how people are reviewing it. And you see in a show like that, which is probably bottom of the barrel, you see a lot of, 7s, 6, 5s, and 4s, in the middle. That's where primary people, or like you look at WandaVision or Loki, which is a good show, where you get a lot of the higher end, and then, it tapers off, at a diagonal. In this show, I believe 30 some odd % of all reviews on the show is a 1%. It's a 1 star, which like 30% of people said this is like absolute trash, which is like how? Like
Yeah.
that's not how it works.
I don't really care about internet nerds though.
No, I know,
mean,
but like
I don't-
It does bother me that people are like because so this one it's like 30 something %, and then Ms. Marvel, which we all agree is kind of like a teenager show. Like it's not for us. That I think is at like high 20% 1-star ratings. Like people are review bombing
All right.
those two
I
movies.
mean,
I mean,
The internet's a cesspool of humanity. So
I understand
also-
that, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, this has to do with this show. Like, it's getting review bombed. There's people out there. That
I
are
mean,
like,
does it
"This is
deserve it?
trash."
Fuck no.
No, God no. It does not. It is a lot better than a 1 star. But it's one of those things where you can see that there are a lot of people out there for some reason think that these shows are trash, and it's like, why? Why feel that way? And there are people out there who create a view of what the show is going to be based on that, where they're like, oh, but so many people hate this, so I'm not even going to give it a shot.
I mean, I would like to talk to that person and be like, buddy,
Oh, I know. But you
You
acknowledge
got to find some better websites, bud.
right. But you acknowledge those people exist.
Sure.
That just throws 0 ratings.
No,
out there,
where
or-
they look at the ratings and they're like, "Oh no, I'm not even like look at all these people who hate this show. Like, I don't want to watch
I don't
this."
know.
Well,
I
I
get,
mean,
I
yeah.
get
I don't
the
know
feeling
how
that
much that actually exists.
I feel like those people were kind of just not going to watch it anyways.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? It's probably it could be numerous people who are doing that. Like they'll put zeros for everything.
Well,
as
it's
long
one.
as-
It'd have to be a
or,
one.
or they'll
There's
put
no
ones as
zeros.
you know, for everything that's not Loki, or ones for everything that's not this, or they'll just give ones because it's a female lead. You know
That's more or less what.
well,
it's
that's what
looking
people
like.
are saying.
Yeah.
I would
They-
assume that
based-
it's more linked towards the female.
Based on the
lead
trend,
than it is
that's what it
anything
is.
else.
Where it's like, come on, guys. Like,
I'll be honest with you, and I don't. This is like more of a just my feelings of the Marvel TV offerings. This is like a top 2 or 3 show right now through 2 episodes.
yeah, no,
And that's saying something. After 2 episodes, you can already say it's
I
Yeah.
would, I
kind of the
mean, I
top
would,
tier.
I would put it like probably number 3 because I mean, well, minus the Netflix stuff. We're not including.
Sure,
that.
right. The Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, I guess we're gonna get some Daredevil in this.
They showed him in the
I'm
trailer.
interested to see. Do we
So.
think? What are the odds that we might
Might
see Beast?
Beast. Oh god.
Because it is very, very, very possible. But
I
it's
don't-
more of a like this
got
this wouldn't be the
Beast
year.
the X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
was
think
gonna
so.
say you wouldn't blow your load on that.
No. I was gonna say you're doing
They
the
are
reveal for
not-
X-Men elsewhere,
Yeah.
Right.
but still, like if he's
So
supposed to show up as
so
a cameo,
Beast, or are we
just
saying Beast or Hank?
Hank.
Hank. Or
It
like
wouldn't be Beast yet. It would be Hank.
pre Beast Hank.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't. See
I mean,
that.
That's
it's
like a
theoretically possible.
0. Sure, of course
Yeah.
it is. I mean,
It everything.
But it's not like you're not
I
going
could
to
also
see Gambit.
fart
Like
rainbows,
Gambit wouldn't show up. Well, actually, that's a bad example.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't see like Storm in this.
right. You'd see Storm in the Wakanda movie. though.
Maybe.
I think we're not gonna see any of the X-Men guys.
I know.
Like,
Well, yeah.
They're
The
doing
only,
it.
Just saying. Like,
so okay,
they
the only
are
reason
planning
I
to
say
do it all.
yeah,
so.
they are planning on everything's on the table.
I
The only
know,
reason
but-
why I mentioned Storm being in Wakanda is she was born in Africa, and she and Black Panther are romantically involved, like married in the
Okay.
comics.
Oh,
So
good
that's
for
why.
them.
Yeah. So that's the only. But they're moving on from Chadwick, so like
Right.
I doubt that Storm
Well,
would
who
even
knows?
show up.
Yeah, who knows
But
how
if
that
she
goes.
was to show up in a movie, that would be
that
the
would
movie.
make sense. Okay.
Yes.
I just don't.
Yeah, they're gonna wait till they do big fanfare for.
Yes.
So I'll be honest. One thing that has kind of tarnished my view of this show is that the first episode was not supposed to be like this originally. Like they shot it and filmed it, and it was not going to be that was supposed to be the flashback was supposed to be like the last episode or the second to last episode or something
Really?
like that. Yeah, and like I don't know, I just was like transfixed on. I guess they thought they needed the setup, which like not really. I mean, I didn't really need to know or have an explanation of why she was green.
Yeah.
I just imagine like Feige watching the first episode and then just like shouting like in their faces, like the showrunner's faces, like, "Why is she green? Why is she green?"
I just feel like it was. Would I have enjoyed it the other way? Yeah, probably. But I feel like normal, ordinary viewer needs it. Unfortunately,
Yeah, he's right.
we're
You
talking.
can't just
yeah,
show up as a Hulk. And,
Yeah, people are gonna be like, "I don't understand. I'm done," and just like give up on the show.
Especially if you're
That's
throwing out,
so
especially
lame, though.
if you
But
start
we're like
with the
40 fucking things into this.
I
No,
understand.
but
Like,
the thing is,
I really think.
but you start off
giving
with the
them
second
no
episode
credit.
then, and that's like Bronski, and then that's like the callbacks of
yeah,
you know
What do you mean Bronski?
abomination.
Abomination.
Oh.
I mean, that's quite literally
Yeah,
another Hulk, and they mentioned that in the show. Like
Yeah.
you're getting those references and cuts there that
Yeah.
nobody's gonna know.
yeah,
And if you're throwing all that stuff in there, you might as well throw the origin story just to get it out.
yeah. And it's not a horrible origin story if you really think
No,
about
and
it.
No,
it's
actually,
quick.
I think that episode is bad. I didn't
Really?
think that episode was good at all.
Like, I think
I didn't
I think
mind
it was the quickest and most efficient you could have given
Yeah.
the origin
but
story.
it didn't even need it. I guess
There,
is the
there are
thing.
other
That's-
shows or movies where the origin story takes so much longer to unfold. Where this one, it was just like less than a half hour. Boom, there's our origin story.
Right, and,
I mean,
and
this
there
being
you
a
go.
half hour
you got a young
long-
Avenger right there.
Yeah.
Like it's done.
Yeah.
you're done.
This being a half hour long definitely like makes me like the propensity to hate it is like way lessened by it. It's
Yeah.
a way it's
Like,
a
yeah,
mitigating
if
thing.
these were hour-long episodes, I feel like. Although I was very surprised at how short episode 2 was. Like that was incredibly short.
That was tiny.
It had such a weird ending. Like I was trying to think, what actually happened in this episode?
It's
like
literally she
got
gets
fired.
fired.
She went to that weird dinner that like,
Right.
was definitely trying to be funny. Was kind of at times.
Yeah.
But not nearly as funny as it liked you to think it was.
I agree with that.
Which is like beef with a lot of the comedy. But some of it's actually good in this show, so like I'm not going to be too upset.
Yeah.
And then the abomination scene, which I thought was good,
Yep.
and then her talking to the phone. That was it.
Yeah. And then
like-
finding out, oh yeah, Shang-Chi.
Wait, what?
So you know at the
Yeah.
end of the episode how they're like, yeah, new footage coming out of Abomination fighting in.
Yeah,
that's from Shang-Chi. Yeah,
that's right. That's
That's
right.
from that movie.
I thought it was, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
okay.
So that's just a callback to that movie where
Yeah.
he's not in human form; he's in abomination form, even though
Right.
he's claiming that he's been in human form for a while.
Yeah.
He also
We'll
mentions
see.
that he's written a haiku to all of his victims, yet he wrote one to Bruce.
What was, by the
Bruce was
way,
not a victim.
he was like, so Nerd Corner.
Yeah.
When he was like my 7 friends or whatever? What is
Like 7 soulmates.
that?
I just think that's
I think that's just the pen pals.
no. I literally think that's like a polyamorous relationship. Like
Oh, really?
Oh, so that's not a reference to
No.
like. Well, because I was thinking it was
No,
the
no,
Sinister
no,
Six.
Yeah,
but
that's
six.
that's what I was thinking about. It's like 6.
Nope.
No.
There's
No.
not 8.
it's
Is there an 8? Is
literally
there like
him
a
being like, I have 7 girlfriends.
awful 8.
And in truth, Abomination is more of a solo. He
Yeah.
doesn't team up a lot.
No. He's a rival to the Hulk.
I don't know. Maybe that's setting something up. I don't know. Or is that
Look,
maybe just-
I don't want him to stay on Abomination either. Like, I don't want this to be the full
and
season.
I feel
I kinda want him
feel
to
like
move.
they'll move on. How many episodes is this? 6?
See,
That's the problem.
okay. This show would be so much fun if it was like a different person each week. I'm sorry, or like something like that would just be fun and not have
Okay.
to be 1,000,000,000% serialized. You know?
It could be. They could tie up the Abomination thing next
episode and then move on to Daredevil.
Not even, or who would be? I mean, you wouldn't be Daredevil, but you be Kingpin or whoever is arrested. Whatever. It's just I want him to move on.
Do you think
from this.
so? We know Daredevil's in the show. Do you think this show sets up the new Daredevil TV show?
No, it's too early.
Depends on your definition of
that's too
setup.
early.
Yeah.
I think timing wise, it's too early.
Too early.
I think
Okay.
there will be a
Well,
thing he might be
yeah.
working on that she's aware of, and then that's it. But like, I don't see any major kind of piece of information.
Yeah.
Like, let's go do this, and then like end of season.
Yeah.
I can't
Because
imagine
Daredevil
that.
was leading to Fisk becoming mayor, and like,
Can you imagine how much like fun that would have been on Netflix if they did
man.
that?
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how Disney
you're right.
is. Who knows if they'll? I mean, it seems like they're going to continue that stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris,
Yeah,
would I like Punisher?
it's a long one.
It is.
It is long.
I stopped like halfway through. It's kind of like the only thing I would recommend, like watch Daredevil season 1 and 2, and in season 2, Punisher is there with Barenthal, which
Yeah.
at least you two glow about everything.
Because I
he's in.
needed my Wayne fix the other day. So I threw on a little "We Own This City,"
yeah, really.
and now I'm just like, oh man, should I watch Punisher? Because it's
So-
like you just tell me like he's playing that part, and I'm like, how is this not incredible?
Yeah,
So
it's drawn out.
It's a long
Oh,
one.
a Netflix show that's drawn out. Oh my
Well,
god!
Well,
compared
comparatively
to the other
the
ones.
other four,
Yeah.
it's
Like,
look. If you like,
well, I didn't remember Luke Cage being like super like
short.
fast action.
No, it
either.
wasn't.
no, well, Luke Cage was like split into 2 parts.
Did you watch season 3 Daredevil? with
I
the
didn't watch.
Punisher?
I haven't seen it. Daredevil
No, season
episode.
2.
You haven't seen any Daredevil
No,
episodes?
Chris,
on
it was
Netflix?
season 2.
No. Okay, either way, it doesn't matter. You haven't seen any Daredevil
I saw
episode?
Luke Cage half of.
Okay, watch
Okay,
Daredevil.
firstly,
2 seasons?
Daredevil is the best out of everything.
100%.
Of any Marvel TV show and probably
season-
half the movies.
Season
Oh,
1,
okay.
yeah, season 1 of Jessica Jones is also phenomenal.
Okay.
That's just because what's his face is in
No,
it.
no, I understand Tenet's in
Yeah.
it, but no, it is really good because
I don't
it
think
goes
so,
more,
but
that Chris is just odd like that.
That's
No, because it goes into like the psychology and whatnot of like the characters. It's not like your typical like I can punch my way out of this. It's like somebody dealing with PTSD the whole time,
Okay.
and you're like piecing things together.
Yeah, I've heard it's like weird and
Yeah.
like not very like not your regular Marvel kind of show.
right.
I'm still surprised you haven't seen Daredevil.
No,
Yeah.
well, I'm not a comic book guy.
Yeah. No, Daredevil's really
it's,
good.
But the thing is, like, it's truly not. That's
Okay.
what's really good
Yeah.
about it. It's not.
Well, it's more violent.
Yeah.
And
Way
well,
more
Luke
violent.
Cage really like. I mean, the season of that I watched, it's not.
Yeah,
like,
but Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Luke Cage was very stylized in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would put season 1 of Jessica Jones and like Daredevil season 1
definitely
are ahead of Luke Cage.
Okay.
And,
I would
and
even say
again, like,
definitely
Daredevil
ahead of
season
Punisher.
2.
Daredevil season 2 as well. And-
Punisher
and-
is tough for me to get through. I gave up halfway through because I felt like it was so drawn out. It was like I know where we're going.
Yeah.
Let's just get there.
I feel like that's just a good movie too.
Yeah.
Like that's not a. You have to just make the Punisher 2-hour
because
thing.
like the whole time they're hinting at Jigsaw, and it's like, all right, let's just get to Jigsaw, and they're like, no, let's
Yeah,
just keep
it's-
pulling the string
Yeah.
slowly.
All right. So I guess we're all in. I mean, I'm in, and I seem to be the least
Yeah.
big on it. So I guess we're
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
still in on She-Hulk.
We're all there.
We might not. That might not be an every week one, just because.
No.
Probably
No, I
not.
don't think so. I don't think so.
Half hours.
Like I said,
Probably will.
this is the same thing. Unless something massive happens.
Yeah.
We got a lot
We'll
of
circle
TV
around at the
this
end.
month.
You know,
Yeah.
give our final thoughts.
We got a lot of TV coming up in the next 6 weeks. So
Yes,
let's,
and
we'll be involved.
I mean, Sam still has to watch Only Murders in the Building season 2.
Oh, yeah, I gotta
John,
catch up
you're
with that.
finally watching that.
We're gunning through.
Yeah. He's
we've-
gonna finish before you do, Sam.
As we've mentioned on and off, just another great episode of What We Do in the Shadows.
100%.
We don't even need to talk.
No,
It's-
we don't have to.
It's just
if you
incredible.
haven't started watching it, please start watching it.
I did watch the first episode of Our Flag Means Death.
What is
Oh.
that? That one
That's
I don't.
the Taika Waititi pirate one.
Oh, the pirate one. Okay.
So far, it's pretty good.
Have you
watched-
guys? Oh,
I was gonna say Reservation Dogs.
oh no, I was gonna say
Oh.
Wellington Paranormal.
no, is that any good?
I don't know. People are like, it's the same kind of vibe.
Yeah,
Really?
that I feel like I need to check out. But
Okay.
Reservation Dogs, I've heard positive things
There's this
about.
new one with Simon Pegg about, and it takes place in London where they're trying. It's on NBC Peacock. Yeah, Peacock, right? Yeah, Peacock.
Yeah.
And it's about just him as like an anti-terrorist
Simon Pegg.
organization. Yeah. That's what's throwing me off. I'm like, okay, is this a serious
So
show?
it's
or
like
is
a
this
serious version of Hot Fuzz.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. I haven't looked at it.
yeah,
It's
that's
just
my-
I read the description. And I'm
that's
like,
my problem
okay.
with Simon Pegg is he does like some serious stuff every once in a while.
They're never
and then-
good.
Yeah, they're never good.
See, at the time, it had a decent Rotten Tomato score, so I'm like, all right, well, maybe. And
People are enjoying it. Maybe okay.
it might. There was it was a week ago when I saw it, so it could have gone down. It could have gone up. It just started.
Yeah.
It just started.
So yeah, we got a lot of TV.
A lot of
ahead
TV
us.
coming up.
which is nice that there's no movies. So like we can focus on
Right.
TV.
It was
Right.
either going to be Con
Very
on
true.
Classic or we talk about TV. So
It's gonna
more,
be TV.
More
I
TV.
could do.
probably
I got to
next
do fall
week.
preview. We haven't done a fall preview.
There
yet.
you go.
We can do a
That's
fall
next
preview.
We'll do
week.
that next week. So.
Do that next week.
All right. Let's wrap this up. If you like our episodes, you can find them all on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, Apple Play, Google, whatever. Everything's
YouTube.
free, and YouTube.
Do you know what you automatically post to YouTube?
Uh huh.
You set that up. Technology
And
right?
Facebook. Yeah.
That doesn't
Ways
flush
of the
this week
future.
until this time. New York City.
Bye.
New York City.